Well, that wind's just picked up a bit, so I'm glad I brought this microphone. Hello all. Well, I've managed to get out today. And for all you eagle-eyed people out there who are subscribers, you're going to say, you've just filmed a video there. I know, I thought I'd do 2 in 1, cover my bases. Just in case you didn't see the other one, quick recap. My leg is basically the same as my last report. Okay, so, but just come out for a little drive. It's not too bad when I'm driving. The Achilles tendon I've damaged, just in case you didn't know. But it's a bit achy, but I've only been driving about 15-20 minutes, but it's still a little bit achy. But walking's still a problem and everything. But anyway, yeah, what I want to do today is, basically, it's just a few bits and pieces that I own, or that I've recently purchased. And I thought I'd show you them because I find them to be extremely useful when, well, either kayak camping or just camping. But I'm not going to tell you prices and leave links to every single thing, right? What I'll do is, if you're interested, if you're actually interested in anything, leave me a comment, then I'll just give you the link. That's the easiest way to do stuff. Because, I'm not being funny, you might not be interested in anything. This is, well, you could put it in your backpack, in heavy, this table, but this is really ideal for kayak camping. And this really is an awesome little table. And so simple to set up, and yet so strong because it has aluminium running all the way through it. And as you can see, it's just one full piece. And these little clips just sit on the end, and then tension helps hold everything in place, like such. And yeah, it's got a little pocket on both sides, and with this top being metal, got rods through, it's quite sturdy. Oh, I don't know if you'll see from there, but yeah, it's a bloody sturdy little table, and it's great for all sorts of stuff anyway, but that's beside the point. That's your little table, and it's by a company called, I think it's Notu, it's N-O-T-U, but yeah, I've had this a while. I've had this quite a while actually. I forgot to take it with me when I went to Scotland, but yeah, I've had it a while, and it's an awesome little table. Okay, let's start small. Alright, this is some I picked up. You know when you're hammering your tent pegs in, right? 9 times out of 10, you're just going to stand on them and squash them in. Well, occasionally you can end up with a sharp bit. If you've used a rock or a stone the day before or the week before, the end of your peg can get sharp and it can cut into your foot. Right? I've had it actually pierce my shoe. It didn't go all the way through, but I thought I'm going to get a little hammer. And I found this thing. The centre part is aluminium, the top and the bottom is steel. It's really strong, does the job great, but it's extremely lightweight. It's got a little hook end on this, which you can use for many different things, but it's great just to pull your peg out when your peg's a bit stiff. But yeah, great little hammer. Got a little hole there so you could put a piece of cord through and have it dangling off the back of your pack or whatever, or you secure it in your boat or whatever, but it's a great little hammer. And it's lightweight, but yet it's very, very strong, and I'm extremely happy with it. But like I said, if you're interested in anything, just let me know, and I'll drop you a link. I'll tell you what, quick little caveat here. The weather's a bit bloody strange today. It's actually 76 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously, not Celsius, 76 Celsius, I'd melt. yeah, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, but because of that thick cloud cover, which was forecast to lift by 1, that's why I've waited until, well, I got here about just before 1 p.m, hoping the cloud cover had lifted, but it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, and because of that, it looks dull and miserable, but it's actually quite nice and quite warmish. Right, okay then, that's your little hammer. Moving on. Now, I love this. This is bloody awesome for something so simple and so cheap. And I take it everywhere with me. Took it to Scotland with me. Take it camping. It comes everywhere with me. It's like a canvas mat. It's heat resistant, so you could plonk it on somewhere and put a hot pan on if you've been cooking. Rest your hot pan on there. Right. This side has got like a plasticky coating, so when it's folded up, which I'll show you in a second, you can, in theory, not that I'd ever had to, but you can use it to carry some water if you needed from a lake or river to chuck onto a fire or whatever, you know what I mean. But this side's got like a plasticky coating, but it's just an ideal little mat for certain little things. But if you notice, it's got these little clips, snaps, whatever you want to call them, and this is the main function I use it for. Right, let me just fasten this up. Yeah, the main function I use it for, right, which is actually advertised to use as this. Right, you know when you're in your tent, right, and it's night time, some people sleep with a watch on. I always take mine off. Right, but you take your watch off, you take your head torch off, you might have some medication, which I have to keep near the bed, near my sleeping bag, whatever, bed, yeah. Right, just in case during the night and stuff like that. And you ever wake up, say at 2 in the morning, you're reaching for your head torch. Some people sleep with a head torch around the neck. Right, I've tried that and I nearly choked myself, so the head torch comes off and goes out the side of me. But you reach in, it's pitch black, you know what it's like. Right, but with this little, yeah, you could just use a tub or anything, but with this little pouch, this multifunctional pouch, right, you can put all your gear in there that you need, right, all your bits and pieces, right, so that when in the middle of the night you reach across, you feel that, you know, everything that's important is in there. And it might sound silly, and I know a lot of people will think bloody pointless, but you can't say it's a waste of money, because if I remember rightly, I think it was only a couple of quid, and like I said, heat resistant, right, and it's got like a plasticky coating on the inside. You could almost use it as a dish, but I won't recommend it really, because you're using it for other stuff, but in a pinch. But yeah, once it's all sealed up, it will hold water. It will actually hold water, right? No, I haven't tried it, right? But because it's all plastic on the inside, I bet I could go to a stream and get a scoop of water. In fact, I know for a fact I could. Right? But it's lightweight and takes up no room, and it's cheap as chips. Right? Packs away to absolutely nothing. And yet it's absolutely, I'll put that back in there. Right, it's absolutely bloody fantastic. I think it's awesome. Right. Plus, if you've got something like this hammer, because it's got like a sharp edge on your claw part, do what I do, put it in there, and then that goes in your backpack, your rucksack, your bag, and whatever you want to call it, whatever you're using, and now you know it's protected. Right, so it's an all-round great little gizmo. Okay then, right. Let's have a flashback now, because this was funny. I ordered this, and then 2 days later I did my bloody leg, so I ain't been able to give it a proper test. Do you remember this video? I'll leave a link to it, because it's quite a good video actually. I went to the mowers and I was doing a tent test. I'd got a new tent, and spoiler alert, it went back. The bottom line was, if it's easy if you watch the video, right? But if you're not interested in the full video, if you just jump to say the last 10 minutes, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about now. Yeah, condensation is an understatement. I had a sponge and I was wringing it out and there was water. I mean, the tent, I woke up in the middle of the night, there was water dropping on my face. The tent just filled with condensation. It was the Nature Hike Tiger 2. Fantastic tent though. Loads of room on the inside, easy to pitch. You know what I mean? A really, really good tent. But for condensation, it went back. For condensation, it was an absolute nightmare. Right. However, because I knew it was going to be a warm night, I brought my little fan with me. Right. And even though I'd left that on all night long, which was annoying because it was as noisy as hell, right? Little battery powered fan, it was noisy as hell, but I'd left it on all night long, right? And it probably did a bit of good, but it didn't do enough. So when I got back, I had a look round and I thought, I'm going to get myself a half decent fan, right? Not necessarily for condensation, right? Because the tent I've got now should be fine for condensation. But in case of hot nights and things like that. So I picked this one up. Right? I'll point out it's battery powered. I think the battery lasts 25 hours. In fact, I'm right. Yeah, the battery lasts 25 hours. Right? You can also run it off a power pack. You know, a power bank. If you've got a power bank, it's got a little USB there for charging the battery, but you can plug a power bank in. Right, so you could, if it was nearly dead but you needed it, you could run it off that. What I do like, yeah, you're moving now and I wanted to be in that spot. I'm not moving now though. What I do like is, it's got a little stand, right, which is fine to stand up, but it goes all the way up and you can hook it to the top of your tent. Right, so, and like I said, 25 hours, that's not on the maximum setting, because on the maximum setting, it'll only run for, I think it's 6 hours on the maximum setting. But I tried it in my bedroom. I put it on in my bedroom. I put it on level 2, I think it was, and it kept me. It worked perfect in a bedroom, and a bedroom's a lot bigger than a tent. But the good thing is I couldn't hear it. It was really, really quiet. So that was fantastic about it. It was quiet. I'll tell you right now, if you turn it up to full, it sounds like a jet engine on full. But there's no reason to have it on full, unless during the day, if you happen to be, which I don't know why you would be on a hot sunny day sat in the tent, but I don't know, you might not be very well, so you've gone into the tent to lay down for a bit. This really will cool you down. It's fantastic. But like I said, unfortunately, when I bought this, I think it was 2 days before it even arrived, about 2 days later was when I did my bloody leg. So it hasn't had a full test. But as I say, I tried it in my living room, I tried it in my bedroom. Now, when you think a bedroom is a lot quieter, a bedroom might be the chair creaking. I thought I had something in that tree, maybe a bird or something, but yeah, no, it wasn't Bigfoot. Go away. You Bigfoot lovers. No, I tried it in my bedroom, and obviously a bedroom is 10 times quieter than a tent because you're in a sealed block, basically. Whereas in a tent, you're going to hear all the sounds of the wildlife and everything. And because it's so quiet, I couldn't even hear this in the bedroom. It was that quiet. It was real nice quiet, and it did keep the bedroom nice and cool. Okay then, right, moving on. And yeah, camp stove. This actually annoys me when I see, now I could get slaughtered for this because almost everybody, every YouTube video does this, and it annoys the hell out of me. Right? Almost everyone, I said. Right? Go. This is my stove and stuff. I'm gonna have a coffee in a minute. Yeah. Go camping. The grass is, as it is now, quite. Well, it's not long, but it's reasonably long. All right. Sorry. And they just put. Right, this is a fire bag. I keep my gas canister inside a fire bag just for extra safety. But yeah, they take the gas canister and basically you plonk it on the ground, light it, right, and bloody, you're right next to the ground. And 9 times out of 10 they say, oh, I'll have to keep an eye on that because it's real close to the grass and I don't want to set the grass on fire. Right? Well, there's such a simple fix to that problem, right? I've got a few of these, different sizes for different things, right? A fire blanket. This is, right, completely fireproof fire blanket, right? You can even pin it down on windy days, right? And basically drop that down, then put your stove on top of it. I hope that shows up, but it will on here. Put the mat down onto the grass, put your stove on top of the fire blanket, and then you can't set the grass on fire. It's such a simple, maybe, I mean, I shouldn't, it's just that it annoys me when I see people putting the gas stoves on the ground, and they all say the same. Everyone says, oh, I'll have to watch it in case I set the grass on fire. I'm thinking, well, you can't set the grass on fire if you put something down fire. Some people grab like a rock or a stone or something, which is fine. You know what I mean? That's perfect. You get me? If you can find a big rock to put your stove on, that's great. Right? But all you need is a fire mat, a fire blanket, and they're cheap. Right? I mean, I have it all in one, so even, like I said, I'm going to have a coffee soon, and I'll have my stove on here, but I'll still have that down just to protect the table. And that wind's picking up now, and I don't mind telling you, that temperature's dropped down to 68. Hang on, didn't I say 76 about 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago? Well, it's dropped to 68 now. Either that's wrong, but there again, you ain't feel that chill. So, I'll be picking it up. But anyway, yeah, so fire blanket. And you can get all different sizes. Right? And like I said, this is a fire bag. Right? Fireproof bag. And I always keep my gas stove in there. Probably overkill, probably not necessary that. Right? But it makes me feel a lot better. Just putting that in low. Oh, in case you're wondering what this is, right? This is just a little tin that I keep my coffee in. Right? No particular reason. I like the tin. I thought I can keep some coffee sachets in there. So that's all that is. That's now really. But yeah, so fire mat. Put that on the ground first. Right? You may have seen this in my videos, right? When it's been in a situation where I've had to put the gas stove on the ground. Because I've had that years. I've had it years, that fire mat. What have we got in here that's heavy? Oh, some bloody water. Oh, water, yes, moving on. Okay, right, you're gonna like this one because it's a water bottle with a twist. Now, you see these, and at one point you'd think straight away military canteen, whereas nowadays, right, these are in every camping shop. They're more of a camping canteen, right? But this one is, shall we say, with a twist. It's not just a canteen, right? You can ignore that. It's just a piece of foil I put together. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Imagine you're out. You've got your gas stove, but your gas is dead. Yes, you can start fires and this and that, but you have to be careful, right? Whereas this, it's a full all-in-one cook set, right? There's your mug, right, and your cooking tin, right, cook in that, drink out of it, everything, right? You've got everything in there, right? And you've also got a little wood burner stove, right? There's air holes on both sides, but a little wood burner stove. Start a little fire in there. You know, also, you know them, oh, what do you call them? Oh, Nalgene stoves, Algene stove, them little boot polish tins that you set on fire, you know what I mean. They'll fit in there as well, but put some twigs in there, start a little fire, nug on top, cook your food. This bit of tin foil I just put up just as a lid. You can buy the lids, but I thought I don't need one, I'll just use a bit of tin foil, you get me. But yeah, so I've never used it and I probably never will, but I like the idea that I've got it as a backup. I've got a full cook set in one as a backup. Plus also, you can get these sort of things with just the bottle, right, plastic bottle, but I'd recommend getting this type with the stainless steel bottle, because you can get this, I'm getting my words twisted there, you can get this with the plastic bottle, so you've still got your little cook set there, you've still got your cook set, but your bottle is plastic, okay, great. But if you get one with a stainless steel, aluminium, whatever it is, right, say it's a cold night, right, you get your fire going, sit that on there, take the lid off, right, or the air pressure will build up and you've got a bomb. Undo the lid, right, okay, get that warm. You won't have to leave it on long, but get that warm, take it off, put the lid back on, shove it in your sleeping bag. You've got an instant water bottle, you get me? But like I said, if you're going to do this, I'm going to emphasise it, right? Take the lid off, don't just loosen it, take the lid off completely, right? Then heat it up. Then when you take it off, with gloves on, obviously, when you take it off, put the lid back on again, then you can shove it in your sleeping bag. Don't leave it on there for half an hour and it's boiling, bubbling hot and it burning, you know what I mean? Because you probably melt your sleeping bag. But you just leave it on a few minutes, warm up. You'll know it's warm. You'll go like that and you'll go, oh, that's warm. And that's enough. Lid on, take it off, in your sleeping bag. Ideal. Absolutely ideal. So that's why if you got one with this, make sure you don't get the plastic bottle, make sure you get the metal bottle. And then that way you've also got, in an emergency, you've actually got a water bottle. These hold, well, this particular one holds a litre. It's quite heavy-ish when you've got a litre in, but so is an Algene bottle. You get a litre Algene bottle. There's not much difference between the two, and you've got a cook set in here. And just think, imagine you're out camping and your gas stove don't work. Right? Yes, you could literally build a fire, right? But have you got anything? Say you've only got a cup with you. You see, in my little fire kit here, right? When I'm out, right? Even overnight camping, right? That's my entire cook set, right? That is it. That's my cook set, right? Because it's really just for boiling water, right? Now, if I make a little fire, I'm really going to have to mess about making some type of platform so I can stand that on, and you know what I mean. So, whereas with this, it's there. Your cook set is there. You put your twigs in, you light them or whatever, and it's there. You get me? Whereas, I'll say it again, with this, I'd have to make a little fire, somehow get a rock or some bigger logs across so I can balance that. And then don't forget, this is all going to be burning hot because there's going to be flames on them. You get the picture, right? Whereas you've got a backup, and that's all it'd be, is a backup. You could use it every single time. You could actually forget backup. This could be your main kit. That's it. That's for cooking, that's for eating, that's your water, that's everything. And that's what makes it great, actually. It's an all-in-one, everything's there. Tell you what, let me... Oh. I know I said I'm going to make a coffee soon, but I'll just put some of these back in here so stuff don't blow everywhere. Right, down to the last thing to show you. Why am I... I'm a plonker. I knew I was going to move the table, so why I put all that stuff on the bloody floor, I don't know. Right, you probably may have, possibly, I don't know. Oh no, I've got something else in here. A camping. Now, I would say, you can. I've seen people use these for backpacking. Right? I have seen people use these backpacking. So you can actually use this. Oh, sorry, I just have to stretch a little bit and check some up. Yeah, I couldn't see that flashing. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's... I forgot this when I went to Scotland, and I was quite annoyed actually, but I was lucky when I got to where I was actually going that there was already a fire pit. But it's a portable, and I have seen people carry these. A young lady who I watch actually, I watch a young lady, that sounds creepy, doesn't it? YouTube video, right? She's only 20, but she thing is, she carries one of these in her backpack. I mean, I don't know how much it'd weigh. I'd say a kilogram, 2 kilograms. Not heavier than that, but yeah, you don't get these little pegs. These are some I've added, which you'll see why in a moment. You may not have seen one before, or you might have seen one, right? But the bottom line is, it's great. That's it. And this is something else I bought for it, right, to put underneath it. Another one of them, but this time a lot bigger. Fireproof blankets. Right, I told you, if I'm having a fire, right, if I'm burning somewhere, I'm going to have a fireproof blanket underneath it at all times. Right, apart from if it's like a campfire, if you know what I mean. Obviously you're not going to dig a hole, put a blanket on it. But yeah, so another one of them. I'm not going to show you that exactly the same as the last one. But no, this is an actual complete, almost complete, if I get the rest out, complete, there you go, fire pit. These, as I said, I've added these, right, simply for that blanket you just seen. So I can put the blanket down, peg it out, right, these are just cheap little shepherd up ones, peg it out so it don't blow away, and then I stand the actual fire, right, on top. All these, there's some loose ones, right, but they're sort of like locked together, these bits, and they're a bit weird. I will say that it's a bit weird. You sort of like wiggle them about in, oh, there you go, wiggle them about in different directions until they're all zigzagged, right, until they're all the opposite way around. There you go. I know that they're a bit weird, and you'll think to yourself, which way does it go? Which way? Well, you don't have to panic about that because it all actually comes together. There's 4 of these with like rubber bungs on, right? They're the feet. Don't matter which side you start at. Let's just straighten this up again. No matter which side you start at. So we'll just put the 4 with the rubber feet in this side. Obviously you need to put them all in the same side because the rubber feet are for the bottom. And then when you start to, oh yeah, all of a sudden it all comes together, look. And you think, oh, hang on here. And then basically, whoops, you slot the rest in. Wrong way around. Wrong way around. Ow. There you go. Let's make sure they're in tight. I'll just lift it up a little bit, but oops. There. That's basically your fire pit. And inside here you get, and I'll tell you what as well, this bends like mad. I mean, it really bends because of the airflow is basically all the way around it. It really does bend good. Right, you get these way. Oh, that sun's starting to break through, and I'll tell you what, instantly that heat is instantly feeling that heat again. And I'll tell you what, I bet it's reading on my watch straight away. 74. Yeah, these little clips, these are the weird bit, actually. These are a bit weird. Yeah. Because if you lose them, you'd really have to come up with something different, right? But the way the work is, right, each side, you basically just slide them through that hole. You pinch them together, slide them through the hole, and then, oops, slot them in. I'll turn that round. You do get one spare, which is good, I suppose, just in case. You can get different sizes of this as well, by the way. You can get bigger ones, right? I mean, real big ones. But I thought for what I want it for, I thought because the bigger ones, it's just more weight, isn't it? And that's it. Now, it seems like, oh, they're just little clips or whatever, but that really does hold quite a bit of weight, actually. And you've got a perfect little fire pit there. And I'll tell you what, when you've got your wood, your twigs, your whatever on, right, and the flame starts, because of all the air circulating underneath, this is like a wire mesh. And I was actually a bit worried, thinking, well, it's a wire mesh, so it'll just crack and burn through. But no, Outdoor Gear Review, he had one of these, but he had the bigger one, right? And he left it burning and burning and burning. He used it for about 6 months, and not a single crack or anything anywhere. This one I picked up for Scotland, and as I've said, I forgot to take it, but as it happens, I didn't need it. So I ain't actually, as you can tell, used it. However, I've seen enough about it, I've read enough about it to know they're bloody great. But yeah, so little fire pits and bits and pieces. Just a quick video. I just wanted to get out the house, right? And I just thought I'd show you a few bits and pieces you may be interested in. I'll tell you what. Oh, that got it. Yeah, a few bits and pieces that you may be interested in, and if not, I'm sorry for wasting your time, but still. Oh, gone up a bit more temperature. But yeah, so there you go then. It's the end of the video. So I don't know why you're still watching. If you've watched all of this, first of all, thank you. Alright, because I'm a bit out of practice. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, if it's going to turn out exactly how I want it to, but we'll see what happens. I think I put these in upside down. Maybe not. Maybe just a bit stiff because like it says it's still new, isn't it? Okay then, right. Gotcha. Great piece of kit. Well, everything I've showed you. I would put it this way, right? Unless I thought it was really good, I would not show it. I wouldn't just say, well, I'm not getting paid for anything, am I? But just for the sake of making a video, I wouldn't show you something that I thought was crap, just for the sake of making a video, right? I'm only showing you things that I already believe are bloody good. You get me? I already think this stuff is bloody good, or I would not be making the video. Wouldn't be showing you them, I should say. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next for a video. I mean, I'm having to come up with ideas, obviously, because I can't show you any hiking, camping, paddling. I can't show you any of that because I can't bloody do it, can I? So I'm just trying to come up with ideas for videos, and I thought, I was asked about the camping and being scared and stuff, which you should have already seen if you're a subscriber. Thank you. Even if you're not a subscriber and you watched it, thank you. But yeah, so it's a case of just figuring videos out to actually post that you might find interesting, or some of you might find interesting. But yeah, as I said, these bits and pieces that I'm showing you, I can recommend. Okay, I have not used this, I've told you that. However, I did enough research on it, I've seen enough people using it, and as I say, enough people have used them, right? And they are absolutely awesome. And I was a bit annoyed that I left the bloody thing at home when I went to Scotland, but luckily enough, I won't leave it next time. Oh yeah, if you've stuck around, you're going to get some information now. Assuming everything goes okay with my leg by next year, I'm planning on going back to Scotland again. Right now, okay, that doesn't sound like much of a big deal, but what I want to do is I want to go for about 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, right? And I forgot to put them away. I want to paddle a few different locks rather than, whoops, get in. Rather than just the one lock, I want to paddle a few different locks. Right, but also another video for Scotland. I want to go back to Loch Eyre, where I was, and paddle the full length of it in not in one go, over a few days. Whereas, don't drop them. Whereas last time I just basically stayed in the same spot. This time I want to paddle the entire length. But like I said, I'm thinking about going back and doing a 3 week trip all around Scotland and going to different areas where there's locks and stuff, and also do some climbing and walking while I'm there and things like that. But yeah, that's a plan. I know my leg will be better by then, but it's just a case of that's what I'm trying to think of things to do next year, because this year is pretty much out for me, innit? I mean, even okay, I might be all right to get some winter paddling in, maybe. We'll have to just see, don't know. But it's just a case of wait and see, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed this little video showing you the bits and pieces, and like I said, if you got any questions, if you are interested, just let us know. I'll be happy to leave you a link to the stuff. Okay then, right, I'll simply leave it there and say thanks for watching, and yeah, cheers.